There is a slide that you always shows on your classes is how many base of support changes that a baby does
Right.
on his early age.
Right, I always
So this is very in my heart because every time I talk to a parent, I always use those slides to
Good.
express what they need to know. So can you talk about how many?
Yeah.
Just the numbers, because it's impressive the numbers that we need to do before we start to walk or start to do another movement
You're
correctly.
right, you're right. Well, it was Karen E. Adolph in New York City who was a student of motor learning. She's a professor at NYU. And she is the one that led this study where they actually put little microprocessors in babies' shoes. And the babies were just beginning to pull to stand and cruise at furniture. So what the microprocessor did was register a little click if the baby took the weight off of a shoe down to 3 pounds or less. What's that, 5 kilos or something? Less. And then click. So if the baby didn't even have to pick up the shoe, he just had to offload it a little bit so that it doesn't carry full body weight, click. Click. Every weight shift, click. Every weight shift, click. So the shoes are registering clicks for every weight transfer. Mom's counting all the hours baby's awake. So for the time period that the baby is beginning to cruise at furniture, starting to take a couple of steps, that very, very early pre-walking period, the clicks are getting counted and the hours are getting counted, and after the baby's walking by himself, walks away, they plugged the shoes into a box, they counted up the clicks, they divided by the hours the baby was awake. And it found out that the baby takes between 500 and 1,500 weight shifts every waking hour, learning to step away from the sofa. 500 to 1,500 weight shifts every waking hour means, well, what if the baby's riding in a car, riding in a stroller, eating lunch, getting carried around? Maybe standing up 2 to 3 hours a day. So now we're talking 2 or 3 hours into 1,500 clicks. And you're talking about 3,000 to 5,000 weight shifts per standing hour. That's the kind of training that typical babies put themselves through just to be able to get ready to take some steps alone. And after that, they're going to fall 17 times an hour for the next 5 or 6 months. So this is typical development. What we expect of children with cerebral palsy is that we give them therapy, boom, they're fixed. Then they walk. Like somehow there's a magic trick.
Magic.
Typical babies don't have magic tricks. Typical babies put themselves through enormous rigors to learn how to get strong, where to carry their body weight, what works for them that keeps them upright, and how to move within that context. It's an enormous learning curve. So I think we have to be more fair to our children with cerebral palsy and honest with our parents to say, I can't fix this in a therapy session. I can't fix this in a month of intensive. I can't do all this work for your baby who needs years and years to gain these skills, even if his wasn't in compromised condition with his brain.